everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Doing Justice Brings Joy. I'm your host, Stella Adams, and we're going to start out today with our Target Fast monitoring. Last week, I didn't hit the click button to add this to the stage, but I want you to see that Target is down 20%. That's the blue line is Target. And I am so excited to say that it is currently at trading at 104.53, and we're just 10 days into this process. 10 days in, and we've already dropped it down to $104 a share. Now, the economic downturn does play a role, but I want you to understand that the red line you're seeing here, this is Walmart. And so Walmart, as you know, is number 2 with a bullet on the hit parade, but they are not the target. Target is, right? And Walmart is only down 10%, while Target is down 20% since the notification of the notification that we were going to be doing a Target fast beginning on March 5th. This green line is CVS that has been going steadily up since the notification of the fast. So I want you to be aware of these differences and know what is going on. Here we have this is the date, January the 27th, when it was announced that there would be a boycott of Target. And as you can see, the blue line is steadily going down, 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 down to its current cost of 104. I want you to notice that when the fast was announced, Walmart was trading lower than Target when Pastor Bryant announced the fast. And Walmart has gone up and down since then. This drop shows what happened on various days. But what we see is steadily that the Walmart has gone up compared to Target, and it has only lost about 9.64% compared to the 22% drop since the notification this year of Target. So the fast is working. Hear this. The fast is working. The fast is working. Today we see that Walmart is trading a little bit up, and Target is trading a little bit down. It's at 104.60. So I'm really excited about this. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, people. And we will keep you updated. We will track this progress every week until April 17th, when we go down. So let me tell you a little bit about, and I'm just going to keep the tracker up here for a while because I just love it. I was in Washington, D.C. this week, attending Oxfam America's International Women's Day conference. It was phenomenal. It was so educational and it was disturbing. The facts and stats that I picked up there were eye-opening. Sadly, I'm reporting, and it's all around, we got to understand the numbers. We have to pay attention to the numbers and to the budget. Congress passed a continuing resolution this week. The House passed it, and it looks like the Senate is going to approve some version of the continuing resolution this week. The Democrats on the Senate side were not willing to take short-term pain to ensure the long-term survival of our democracy and of our nation. Man, there is such a robbery going on in terms of what's going to happen next that I don't even know where to start, because it's a whole lot of moving parts going on with the budget. Whole lot. So we got the continuing resolution, which is going to fund the government maybe till September. I'm not sure what the final version is going to be, but it looks like until September 30th, this budget continuing resolution is going to pass. There's some talk about extending it 60 days or 30 days or 60 days and trying to get the actual budget passed. That doesn't look like that's going to happen. What they're talking about on the Senate side and what they're talking about on the House side is different. So there'll be some negotiation, but there's not a whole lot of time for negotiation. As the clock runs, Cinderella turns into a pumpkin at midnight. So there's going to probably be total capitulation to the House budget. That budget includes massive cuts to SNAP and to other education, and it's the big ugly bill. I think the president calls it a big beautiful bill, but it's a big ugly bill. These cuts are at the expense of the least of these. But let's not get confused about this continuing resolution and the games that are being played by Congress as it comes up with this other budget process, that they're trying to get these tax cuts through. And they want to cut $1.1 trillion from Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP. $1.1 trillion they want to cut. And they want to give that exact $1.1 trillion to the top 1% in tax cuts. 300,000 people will end up getting about $300,000 in tax expense of, and I want you to understand this and hear this, at the expense of 70 million people who rely on Medicare and Medicaid. That's no joke, people. That is no joke. Get that. Put that through your mind. 300,000 millionaires and billionaires are going to get $300,000 a year in tax breaks at the expense of the health and welfare of 70 million Americans. 70 million Americans. And they're playing budget semantics to try to pull this off. So I'm going to try to break this down, what the game is they're playing. So when they passed the tax cuts in the first Trump administration, they passed tax breaks, and they said, oh, there are tax breaks in here for everybody. And they extended the earned income tax credit. It made it graduated. I'll explain that later, but they said, oh, we're going to have the earned income tax credit, and everybody's going to get some tax relief. And that tax relief ended up being like this. If you were in the bottom 20%, of Americans, you receive $70 in tax relief per year. $70. If you were in the top 1%, you receive $300,000 in tax relief. Now you're saying, but what about us people in the middle class? We saw a grand total of $329. The bottom 50% got $325 in tax relief. We're gonna pay more than that in groceries because of the tariffs that are being implemented. But so when they say, oh, your taxes are gonna go up if we don't extend this tax relief and make it permanent, we're only going to benefit. We're not even going to get the equivalent of $25 a month relief. I want you to think about how much your groceries have gone up this month. That's how much taxes, your taxes are going to go up about $25 a month. But you're going to lose Medicaid and Medicare. 70 million people are going to lose their Medicaid and Medicare. Social Security is also in danger. SNAP is gone. Free lunches and reduced lunches for children in school, gone. Over 20, that's two trips to McDonald's a month. I want you to understand who benefits and who pays. Corporations are getting rebates. Corporations are getting rebates. They're not even paying taxes. They're getting rebates. One corporation made $70 billion and got a rebate on its taxes. But we are going to be sacrificing 70 million people so that they can have their tax. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make dollars, and it doesn't make sense. I was devastated. I was devastated when I saw these numbers. And they're playing games. They're playing games. We're going to be in deficits. By the time these they will have extracted, in 10 years, they will have extracted all this wealth from us and leave the burden of paying it back, because it's going to be a deficit. It's adding to the deficit. This is not a balanced budget. This is not a balanced budget, but it's going to be, the burden of paying it back is going to be on the back of Black and brown people, because in the next 10 years, the majority of the people in this nation will be Black and brown. And yet those who benefit from this tax cut are richy riches, white boys. Elon Musk is talking about Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, while he is extracting all this money to support Tesla. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I am excited to introduce our guest for this week. I'm going to add my friend Jackie Wagstaff, my partner in crime. We have been rolling for so long; it is too long. We were young and dumb when we first started hanging out.
And we still young. We just not as dumb.
There you go. There you go. Um, Jackie, I was just sharing with people that the Target Fast is working.
Mm-hmm.
This chart over here, the blue line you see, that's
Mm-hmm.
Target, down
Okay.
20%.
Okay.
And this is Walmart. It's working on them too, but since they're not the target, right? But
Right.
they're still getting the blows.
Good.
Yeah, so I just want people to know
And
that
you
that
should put Tesla up there. You
hmm?
should put Tesla. You should put a line for Tesla because we blowing him out the water too.
You know what? Before the show is over, I'll click on Tesla. But this is my target. You can see over here, um, Amazon's taking a hit too. McDonald's, Alphabet. So we hitting them. But Target, we hitting them hard. They can't blame it on the economy, right? Because here's where
Right.
they started out. This is where Pastor, where my little arrow is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Pastor Jamal Bryant told us to stop, and it's
Oh,
been downhill ever since.
okay.
And when he said stop, Walmart was trading below Target,
Okay.
and now it's trading above, showing it ain't the economy, it's us. Look at that gap. Look at that
Absolutely.
gap.
That's a gap now.
That's a gap. So we doing that thing. But Jackie, thank you for coming and joining me today.
Okay.
Um, Folks, Jackie and I are the chair and co-chair of the Housing Committee for the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People. And I hope to have our chairman, Floyd McKissick, on soon. But we it's been amazing what we have. We had our first housing committee meeting last Monday at the Whitted School. What's the name of it? Veranda at the Whitted
At the
School.
Wooded? Yeah, at the Wooded.
Veranda at the Whitted, which is a senior housing facility that was funded by the city and the county government through housing bonds and art money and some other funds, right, Jackie?
Right. And the school system uh, joined the collaboration because they included the daycare that's existing in the same location. So they
Right.
Durham Public School contributed to this collab. And public and private. It was some private collab too.
And so what we Jackie, share with the folks while I try to pull up the video. Share with the folks why we went out why we held our meeting there and what the concerns of the residents were that we went out to look to see.
Okay. Well, Madam Chair and the viewing public, we were contacted by residents of a 8-year established senior complex that was a combination of a private, public, city, county, public school collab. And they've done a few of those in Durham, but this was supposed to be the premier. And for the last 8 years, I'm assuming the first year of entry, the residents probably were doing relatively well. It's a complex that allows for retired seniors, and I think there's an element in there that allows for disabled residents too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they did well for a period of time that allowed them to live, like we say, your golden years.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was over the years, the elements have changed as far as the folks that still live there. There are people that have been there all 8 of the years that it's been established. But what is happening is there are some elements that are creeping into this establishment. And that's not unfamiliar with Durham when we create living situations for a targeted population. And what has happened is we were contacted about those elements that have creeped into the the sanctity and safety and well-being of the residents. And some of those elements are consistent with illegal activity, building not being secured, just making it very uncomfortable for the residents that are trying to do the right thing to not be in a living situation that now has compromised how they move. And as a result, when they contacted us, being that we are the housing people that will focus on housing issues, I got in contact with the resident council, and they do have one of those,
Yes.
and they shared with us, and we had our first housing meeting, which I'm glad of because you know you can't sit on a Zoom, and I like this Zoom, but a Zoom does not give you the full picture of what's going on. You
No,
really
it
need
does
to
not.
right, and we actually met with the residents, and we actually toured the building, and we actually physically saw the issues that they were dealing with.
And I
So
have a video that Jackie that took that will show you just a snippet of what we found. And Jackie, just for your edification, this is the video where we see the urine and can
in the
open the
hallway.
door in the hallway. So we're
Mhm.
going to share this video with you. Um,
Well, this is urination that goes on
and you can
in the
see the
hall.
urination. Look at all that urine on the step.
Right. You need to move the video over because I'm looking at a tight space.
Jackie, what's showing right now is our ability to open, and they told us the doors had just been fixed. They told us the doors had just been fixed. We were able to go in from the outside and just jerk it open.
Just yank it right open.
And the proximity to the elevator to the third floor, proximity to the elevator, this is crazy. So we have documented that you can get in this building on level 1 and have full access to all floors of this building. There is actual urine on this floor where they have come in and could not access the bathrooms and urinated in this space. This is unsanitary. It is dangerous. Right around the corner, if you get there, right around the corner, there are 2 mattresses that we have already documented where you can sleep. This is an outrage. This is an outrage. And the Durham Committee is documenting this. We will be sending these videos to the management company, to the city of Durham, to the county of Durham. This is how they're managing this property. What can we expect in Forest Hills? We will not allow our residents, this is the second property in this public-private partnership where the residents have been left without protection. J.J. Henderson is the first one, and while that's a different management company, it's not a different problem.
Right.
And we will be documenting these issues and bringing them to the attention of city and county officials. We are going to be demanding that in future contracts that there is some clawback put in if they do not maintain the safety, the reasonable safety and security of the residents, and if they maintain the property to preserve the financial investment of the taxpayers.
Gotcha.
Okay, and just to get back to put a pin in this, is that a lot of these elements that have creeped in, unfortunately, is a product of relocation of other residents from other complexes that are now being terminated. And unfortunately, that the population, and everybody deserves housing. I don't care who you are and what your situation, but what is happening is that there are residents that are coming from other locations that are not as together as the residents that originally are in this complex, and they bring a certain element with them. And I think that element it has creeped into this complex, and it is causing some severe safety issues. So we've contacted our illustrious honorable sheriff and some other people, and we've started some processes of dealing with each individual complaint and directing it to the necessary entities that should be handling it. So as of today, we've gotten a team of individuals from the sheriff department that will continue to view and visit that location to try to weed out some of that element. And while we're organizing the residents to make a trip to City Hall to speak with our local officials about them doing their part, since this was part of their collab. So that's where we're at now with how we're advocating with those residents. We don't live there, so we have to advocate with them, but make sure that they do the work.
So I've also spoken with the mayor and during this time period, and I've talked to him about the clawback and getting the language in future contracts and seeing what language currently exists in this contract that can put some pressure on the management company and the property manager to put in place proper things. The you know the mayor said that he had been in contact with them and they had put in all these new locks and they had put in all this, and I was like, no, I was there. I popped that lock, and I'm not strong enough to open a jar, and I popped that lock. Okay, no, what they're telling you is not true. I shared with him that they said they had changed, they gave people key fobs that only work on 2 of 11 doors. 2 of 11 doors. And I told him about as that he said, well, they put in cameras. I was like, but the cameras don't mean anything if
And
there's
they
no
don't work.
one there to stop it.
And they don't work.
They'll tell you what happened after the fact. But that didn't help the man that got beat with the fire extinguisher.
That's right.
And that's what we observed. We had photos, and I didn't have, Jackie, I didn't have them in your feed of photos. I think William had them, and I didn't have time to download William's stuff. I downloaded yours, but I didn't get his
Okay.
downloaded. But
Okay.
there's actually a tenant who was at the meeting talking with us, who had been beaten by a trespasser
Mm-hmm.
who had squatted in an apartment
Mm-hmm.
and had beat the resident that lived in that apartment and put that resident in the hospital and was
Mm-hmm.
squatting in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Am I telling anything untrue?
Mm-hmm.
And the
No, you're not.
property management company knew about it and did not do anything about it.
Right.
And was saying, well, we have to do this, and the resident council said we did report it. Well, then we have to notify the tenant. You did it. Well, we have to do every step. They said, well, we had to do it. It was like, all that's necessary is for you to get him out. That's what, it's a danger. Get him out. And I don't know if he's out yet, Jackie.
No, he's not. I spoke with one of the residents on that's a part of the council, and they had an incident this weekend, and DPD informed them that because they could not verify that this individual had trespassing on them, they couldn't do anything. That they knocked on the door. He came to the door. He said, "I live here with my mom." They couldn't get a lease to show it, but they couldn't say you got to leave because the office wasn't open on the weekend. So he continued the party. So I got that update. But the hardest part about this is like you said, the residents have less access to the building than the outside element. You have 2 doors that they can enter, and the rest of the doors are entered by the outside element. So that makes no sense that a legitimate tenant has less access to their home than the people that are coming in from the outside that are creating problems for them.
And management in that meeting said they were going to immediately do the trespass in this weekend. So that's 10 days.
10
And
days.
they haven't done anything, and he's still terrorizing the rest of the residents.
And the mother's not even there. She's in the hospital, so he's
Because
just,
he beat her with
yeah,
the fire extinguisher.
right.
People in Durham, I want you to understand the terror that our seniors are living in. And I think, Jackie, I have another video that shows us going into an apartment that was
Unoccupied.
unoccupied. So one, you'll get to see what the intent of the building that was built 8 years ago with our city and county dollars. We really provided space that was beautiful. But it doesn't, if that space is not safe, that space, if that space is not safe, what's the point?
That's true.
What's the point? So I'm adding this to the stage, and I'm gonna play this video.
It was easy.
We just walked into this apartment, people.
We didn't need management or anything. We just walked in an empty apartment.
It's a nice apartment. I was like, there was an kitchen, but a lovely place for people. Really nice. I see this as a nice little like loft apartment. But these are really nice. This is a 2-bedroom. Yeah. And so my understanding is that people come in and trespass in these empty apartments, and we were able to just walk in. We just walked in because it was not locked. After maintenance was done on the units, units unlocked, and trespassers, drug addicts, homeless people squat in these vacant units because there is a lack of safety and security for these residents. As one of our specialists here says, that has the right to be reasonable security. What we have found here is that it is unreasonable to have units that are open and available for money by drug addicts and domestic violence. We had residents who have been attacked with fire extinguishers by these folks. There is not a reasonable security.
I got him. I'm trying to go. I'm on this room.
At the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People. Here we go.
I gotta go get Scott.
I was gonna say y'all go, and I'm gonna say
I gotta go get Scott. That's the house is right down L9.
So Jackie, you can see. I hope everybody could see. We just walked into that apartment. It was beautiful space. That was provided to those residents, and yet we were able to just walk in.
We're going to get Scott.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show one more video.
They have the schedule from.
I didn't hear you, Stella.
I'm gonna show one more video.
Okay.
So you want to go tomorrow then?
I can put it in there. Yeah, we can put it tomorrow.
You have all of them?
There's nobody. Oh, yeah, so y'all can just go through.
Right before the plan. All right.
Listen to the
They gave us this washer free. They made this man and gave us a button where we can wash free, but we still had to do pay for our dryer, and you cannot run them both at the same time. You wash, you let it finish. After you finish washing, then you put it in the dryer. You cannot run them both at the same time. Jackie, please note that there's a plug for this one, so it's working. Note that there is no plug on this one. There's a plug, but yeah, but it's not in the outlet. You have the dryer here that works, but you can't run them at the same time. So if you have two loads, you gotta wait. Okay. And then we have this dryer that's just sitting here taking up space. That is not plugged in and not being used. Okay, cool. We got it. See, I moved here in 2018. The washroom was able to use it, and it was shut. If you had a bulb on, it would shut the electricity off. So after, right before the pandemic, they came in and they gave us wash for free. The maintenance man and gave us a button where we can wash free, but we still had to do pay for our dollar dryer, and you cannot run them both at the same time. Do you wash? You gotta finish. After you finish washing, then you put it in the dryer. You cannot.
So this is some of the things that that folks were having to deal with. I'm going to show you again a video of the squatters.
Say it again, so they're supposed to clean the garbage up. She put it down the chute, which they don't do. They're supposed to break the boxes down. And someone's supposed to be coming up and taking the boxes and the garbage out. But it has not been done. Show her the full suit. The chute is full. You can't even get nothing else in there. And this is the third floor.
Yep. This is the third floor. This floor.
No, it's not. It is not.
Tell Donald to send the car. Tell him to send the code to your phone. I know. Tell him because I'm on the phone.
Say it again, so
Where is it going?
ooh.
I told you. Watch your foot. You got this cord up on there. Yeah, it's a little bit.
What you're
Yeah,
seeing
we
here,
don't care about a bit.
what you're seeing here are mattresses
Yeah.
that are available for the private
Yeah, that's a good bed, but that's
they even provide mattresses.
But if you
So again, Jackie, we are working with the residents. The other issue that came up was just the poor maintenance of the unit. They had like one housekeeper that comes in one day a month to clean the entire building.
Right.
Residents are having to clean and take care of the units themselves. We had a resident who had $1,000 a month utility
Right.
bill.
Because they will not. Because they won't fix the unit. The unit has gone out. There are units on top of the building, and her heating unit has gone out. So they have been putting space heaters in her apartment, which one is dangerous, and two, it runs your electric bill up. So her electric bill is over $1,000, and we're talking about an individual that's on a fixed income. Husband is in the hospital right now, so dealing with cancer, and she's just limited, and she doesn't know what to do. And all they're doing is bringing space heaters in, and they've done that for a year. It's been a year that this lady has been living with space heaters, and it's just unacceptable. When she signed the lease, it said heating and air. She didn't sign the lease said that if the air goes out of heat, you're gonna put me a window unit in and you're gonna give me a space heater. It said heating and air is included, and they get water. So none of this and at one point the water was turned off.
Right.
Management changed. And they almost had electricity turned off until some kind of agreement was made with the new management, and they were able to make sure that didn't happen. But these residents are kind of living in terror, like they don't know what's going to happen from day to day.
And we are again I want to encourage people. If you're aware of things like this happening in your community, to contact me and contact me or Jackie, and I'm gonna put my email address in the
and you can also share my email
Please fasten passenger seatbelt.
We just around the corner.
I'm going to share that with you all so that you all can get in contact with us. Let us know. We'll be happy to have a housing committee meeting at your facility whenever your folks meet regular. We'll come to your regular meeting. We'll come to a special meeting, but we'll come to you and document what's going on just like we did here. These videos and all, we're making them available to the city council. We're making them available to the management company. We're making them available to the property management company. We are going to be talking with Duke Energy about trying to understand how residents are getting these bills instead of management getting these bills, because utilities were supposed to be part of the rent. So this is an update from the Housing Committee on the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People. We are also working on transit issues. We just got revaluations. I don't know about you, but I had sticker shock when I saw my tax bill. Even when they rebalanced it, my taxes went up 100%, Jackie.
Okay.
My tax bill went up
100%. You talking to the choir. 100% ain't the half of it.
And I know they're going to rebalance it, but that still ain't going to change what I got to pay. But people, we have until June 30th to appeal these things. And also, and I do have the chart. Let me pull that up. I'm going to tell you what you
Enter code. Press logo.
tell you what you're there, because if you're a single individual in Durham, we have a tax grant program.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm listening.
We have and I'm trying to find the rates published by Durham. So household size in Durham, and I'm gonna put this on screen so that you can see it. Y'all give me a minute. Y'all know
Open here. Okay. Try it again and press that. Okay.
all right, so if you are these household sizes for Durham, and these are a little low because these are the 2022, not the 2024. So I need to find the right one.
Okay. I'm still here.
Okay, so for Durham, the median, and they have 30 and 50%.
That kind of don't like
Durham, 80% of median income you are eligible for a reduction in your tax. And we need you to, if you are on a fixed income in Durham, if you have lived in your house for 5 years or more in home ownership, and you are at 80% or below median income, there are tax grants available to you through the Department of Social Services. And it's critically important that you take advantage of that. And it's critically important that you take advantage of that. And that program. See if you're eligible. It doesn't hurt to check to see if you're eligible or not. Would you agree with that?
Go through a whole process again.
Well, that's why I go through it. I got all the paperwork and everything already done.
Give that man the weekend. I'm still here.
Already done.
Okay. And I'm trying, and I am trying to see how I can show this chart. If I had real skills, I could do this.
Okay, you got skills.
I don't, let me see. There it is. And I'm gonna.
No, look,
So here's
please
the
give us
income limits right here.
And you can't get to the back door unless you go out the.
So here are the income limits right here, people. If you get your tax bill and you are individual and you make $59,000, $300 or less, you are entitled to a tax grant from the County of Durham. You need to apply at the Department of Social Services. If you're a family of two, this tax grant is through the Department of Social Services, not through the tax office, through the Department of Social Services. If you're a family of two and you make $67,800 or less, you're entitled to a tax grant. If you are at very low, 50% of median, and a family of two making $42,000, you can get again about half of your taxes done. And if you are at extremely low income, you're on fixed income, making less than $22,000 a year, and a family of two making $25,000 a year, you can get your taxes free. You can get a grant that covers your taxes free. So I need you all to, look at this chart, and I need you to look at this chart, and I'm going to copy this chart. And I'm going to paste it into the comments. Can I do that? I guess not. Can't post comments to some. Okay. Well, it wouldn't let me do it, but that's okay. So, you're looking at this again. We're looking at the taxes. We're trying to make sure that people can pay your taxes. If you're eligible for the grant program, you need to look at this chart, see where your family size is, and see whether you're entitled to these tax reductions. And if you are, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. So that we can keep these homes in our community, and keep home ownership, for our families in these in our Black communities. The other thing, taxes have gone up so high that and they want to make, and we're not getting sidewalks, we're not getting bus routes, we're not getting the services for the amount of taxes that we're paying from the Black community. And so one of the other issues that our housing committee is working on is fare free transit and making sure we get sidewalks and bus shelters in Black neighborhoods and communities. So these are
Uh-huh.
some of the highlights that we're working on. We're working with public housing residents.
Hmm.
We got some policy pieces that we're trying to do, but we encourage you to work with us at the and join us on housing committee calls and invite us to your neighborhood for a housing committee meeting. Um, Jackie, any final words before we leave today?
No, just make sure they have our contact information so that if there are housing issues that come up, they'll know who to call, and we'll try to be attentive and be get on it as quick as possible. We can't say that we can solve all your problems, but we can sure make an effort.
We can sure make noise. That's one thing we can
That's
sure
right. We
do.
make noise.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for joining me. Jackie will be joining me often as we update you on what's going on in the house, on housing issues in Durham. We'll
Hmm.
continue to bring you updates about what's going on. I will continue to do the Target Fast monitoring every week.
So
Thank you again for joining us
Fasten
this week on Doing Justice Brings Joy.